Hi everyone, welcome to Board of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie, you're not, and unfortunately there's going to be no gameplay in today's video, but today's video I'm going to be going through some of the changes in World of Tanks with the personal missions, the long-awaited backup, personal missions 1, and a few things you might have missed, and maybe, hopefully this video will show you how you might be able to pick yourself 1 or 2 tanks if you've been grinding towards the Stug 4 or the T28 heavy tank concept, the T55A, or that mighty Object 260 for the final set of the long-awaited backup personal missions 1. Now, people often don't realise personal missions 1 implies there's going to be another one, and I reckon there might be another one either at the end of this year or probably a little bit more likely the start of next year. So we're going to go through a few of the changes that have happened over the years. Of course, personal missions first came out in January 2015, nearly 3 years ago. Of course, we're in October now, and as we all know, when you hit October, pretty soon you end up hitting Christmas, and then all of a sudden it's a brand new year. So it's going to be 3 years since personal missions first came into World of Tanks on all servers, and I've got some information for you. So hopefully you might be able to work out how the changes will best affect you and how you can make the most out of the changes in World of Tanks personal missions with the next patch 9.20.1 just around the corner. I reckon it's coming out in October. No official word from Wargaming yet, but rumour has it the second half of October is the most likely time that it's going to come out. So very quickly, two and a half, nearly 3 years personal missions have been going on for, and they have changed a number of times. Most recently they changed in patch 9.19.1 and also patch 9.18 with this. When Stun came into the game, of course the artillery missions all underwent a pretty big overhaul, and as well as the new matchmaker, all missions which required you to do damage to higher tier vehicles, and that was through all 4 sets of personal missions for the long awaited backup. Then they were all changed because sometimes it was harder to see tanks, especially tanks that were 2 tiers higher. If you ever saw a tank that was 2 tiers higher than you, then there would only be 3 of them, so that could be challenging to get some of those missions done. So in the next patch 9.20.1, we're going to see, and I'm just going to bring up a website, one of Wargaming's websites. This is Wargaming's website from the Asia server. There's going to be new rewards first of all, and this website, there'll be a link to all the websites I go to. I think there's 2 or 3 websites that I'm going to be referring to in this video. The new rewards that are coming out, there's going to be a number of different new rewards coming out, and that will be retrospective, i.e. if you've already completed the missions in the past, then you will get these rewards. You can see here in the middle of the screen it's got all these medals with number 1 being the big feature of this video. Number 1, the first set of personal missions, and that's something that people don't regard. There was a lot of chatter when personal missions first came out back in January 2015. There was a lot of talk about how often these were going to happen, and some people said 6 months, some people said 12. Well, it's been nearly 3 years, and I don't think even Wargaming knew what how long it would take people to get to the Object 260, so they just left it sort of open. In my opinion, there will be a brand new set of personal missions coming out very soon. Now, if you've completed section 1, 2, 3 or 4 for the Stug, for the T28, for the T55A or the Object 260, that'll vary what kind of medals you might get, and they'll come up in your service record. I've been in the test server, and they're not actually in there, but there are some medals with a question mark over that says that they're medals that I have got, and I reckon that's what they're all about. Also some camouflage, unique camouflage items, which I'll show you in the test server now, and into my garage. I'm lucky enough, I've picked up the Stug 4, the T28 concept, and the T55A. And if you look at the T55A, you can see on my camouflage, you can see this little one here with a purple paintbrush on it. It's a modern spotted summer camouflage, and for summer, winter and desert, there's an extra camouflage being added for each one of the tanks that I've been lucky enough to pick up in my garage. And of course, but it's not all about the camo. A lot of people will be saying, well, we've already got plenty of camo, Stewie. What are the real changes? And that's what I'm going to get to right now. The real changes as far as completing missions go. Now, as I said, this is from the test server, and look, things might change, but I don't think they will, because it's just around the corner. If you go to now, the personal missions used to be over here near crew. There used to be a button for that. Now there's a mission up the top near the battle button that says campaign, and it's a totally different layout than what you're probably used to. You're probably used to seeing a box with the name of the one that you're on and all the different missions listed, and it doesn't matter which one you go to, it looks sort of like this. Missions 1 to 15, 15 being the furthest to the right, which is the main reward, which of course gives you your female crew member. The rewards, whether it's credits or whatever it might be, and now it's a component. So to pick up a tank, you need to get 5 components. And similar to in the past, a lot of people don't like playing artillery. I don't think that's really a secret. And so a lot of people have completed lights, mediums, heavies, and tank destroyer missions. If they get mission number 15 with honours, which you can see, I've finished this one with honours. This is back for the T28. If in the past, if you got it with honours, you would get an extra commendation, it was, and you needed 20 commendations to unlock the reward tank. So you could either get, by completing each mission, you would get 4 commendations for each mission. But if you complete it with honours, you would get 5. So you only needed to complete 5. So if artillery is not your cup of tea, or if lights aren't your cup of tea, or mediums, you could skip one of them. That hasn't changed, even though they've changed the way that these personal mission rewards are allocated. That hasn't changed. You can still do that. However, what you can do now, if you're like me, and I'll be honest with you, when I first started doing these personal missions, I had a look at them. I thought, I'm pretty confident on getting the Stug, which I've done. Also the T28 HTC, which is the second lot of personal missions, and I must admit, I thought to myself, I might be able to get the T55A, but I've got no chance of getting the Object 260. I'm simply not good enough, and I know that's probably putting myself down a bit, but you need to recognise where you are in the pecking order of players of World of Tanks. So I just thought, I'll try and get all 5 with honours of all these different missions to try and get these female crew members, because they really, especially when they first came out, they were really beneficial. They had the Sisterhood of Steel perk, which wasn't mixable with boy crew members, but of course now that's changed, and also having that first crew skill for free and enough experience to unlock a second crew skill for free, and then work on your third, fourth and fifth crew skills. And I've been lucky enough to put female crew members in, I think, about 6 tanks from these missions, and also of course when the Swedish tanks came out, there were some other missions to pick up some more female crew members. But what you can do now, instead, they've gotten rid of commendations and replaced them with orders. Now I call orders free hits, and I'm going to do this live on the test server because it's only the test server, it doesn't really matter. So now, to get your tank, instead of getting all these commendations to pick up your free reward tank, now you need to get 5 components, and of course each component will be able to be received. One from the light tank, which it looks like the component might be the engine. One from the medium tank, which looks like the component might be the tracks. One from the heavies, which looks like the component will be the hull. Tank destroyers, which looks like the component will be the gun. And artillery piece, which, yes, I've done my artillery mission 15 for the Object 260, and it looks like that one might be the radio. So you need all 5 components to redeem the tank, but similar to in the past where you can skip one by doing all the other 4 with honours, you can do that with orders. Now the main thing that's changed, all these orders, and I consider myself very lucky, all these orders that I've picked up from the Stug, from the T28 HTC, and also from the T55A missions, those orders, if you've got them up your sleeve, you can move them and use them in the next set of missions. So in my case, that's the Object 260. You can see on the screen now, if you can see on the screen, down the bottom here, it says that I've got 15 available orders. Now that's because for the first 3 sets of missions, that's 5, 10, that's 15 sets of missions that I've completed. Of those 15 sets of missions that I've completed for the Stug, the T28 and the T55A, out of those 15, 14 of those final missions I completed with honours. There was a light tank one that I don't think I got with honours. And of course, I have already completed my SPG missions for the Object 260 with honours. The reason I did that is because I read somewhere a while ago that with the changes with stun, that they had been made considerably easily, and I could not agree more. They were a hell of a lot easier than they used to be. Now, the list of missions, you can see that it's looks like a map, and of course mission 15 is on its own over here on the right. And if you look on there, ones that I've completed with honours, there's 2 ticks. Ones that I've just completed not with honours is just got the 1 tick on it. And of course, for mission 1 to 14, apart from the rewards of credits and medkits and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter, because the main goal is to get to this mission number 15. So now, because I completed 14 of the first 3 missions with honours, and of course 1 for the final one, I've got 15 orders up my sleeve. Now that's the main change. These orders, same as Commendations used to be, the orders, unlike Commendations, the orders carry over to the next mission. And so I'll be lucky enough when patch 9.20.1 drops to have 15 orders up my sleeve. So I've got all these missions left to do. On the light tanks, I've done 9 out of the 15. So I've got 4 normal missions to do, and of course 1 final mission. For the medium tanks, now this is a little bit outdated because I have already completed all 14 tanks for the mediums, but being the test server, it might be a little bit behind. But in this example, I've got 1 normal mission and the final mission. Heavy tanks, I've got the total of 3 to go, 2 normals and 1 final mission. Tank destroyers, similar. I've got two normal missions and 1 final mission. Now, I might not be that confident to get the tank destroyer missions as an example. So what I can do with these 15 orders, I've got 15 available, 0 committed to mission. Now, if you went back to the T28 HTC and you only completed 4 and you used those commendations to complete the artillery or the light or whichever other type of tank mission you might have used, then these will be listed down here as 4 being committed to that final mission. That's something that hasn't really changed. It's just changed the way that they've outlined it. So now I'm on Tank Destroyer, and I've got 3 missions to go. I've got mission number 8, which is to do 5 times more damage than the hit points of my vehicle. I've got mission number 10, which is to do 4,000 unspotted. Now some of these missions will change, and I'm going to go through some of the changes and give you a link to where there's a comprehensive list of the changes to the individual missions. But what I can do, I can think, I'm not that good at tank destroyers, I'm going to skip this, so I can click on mission number 15, and it says up here, complete for 4 orders. So I've got 15 orders, I can complete for 4 orders. It says, are you sure? Yes, I will. And there you go, I've completed mission 15 for the tank destroyer without honours. And I can recruit a female crew member if I want to do, but I'll do that another day. It's only the test server after all. So I can see there that I've done that. And now I've got 11 available, 4 committed to mission. So 4 of those orders I've committed to my final mission for the tank destroyer. Now I can get those back by going back to this mission and completing it with honours. I'll get those 4 orders back. So if you do commit some orders to completing a final mission, then you can get them back by going back to the mission and completing it with honours. You'll get those 4 orders back. So I can do that. So now I've got the artillery and the tank destroyer one done. And something I was surprised about, I was able to unlock that final mission, even though I've got 2 normal ones to go. Now, if you go out and use that, I might do the same for the lights. I might say, gee, I'm not that good a light tank player. Still got a fair few missions to go. Better off just going bang. Complete for 4 orders, final mission of the light tanks, recruit a female crew member if I want to, and now the light tanks are done as well as the tank destroyers, and that just leaves medium and heavies. And now I might find, alright, mediums, bit hard, I'm going to complete that one for 4 as well. Like I said, this is on the test server, so this isn't affecting my real account in any way. And you get the little pop-up notification at the bottom right hand side of the screen. Congratulations for successfully completing the missions. You get the Object 260 chassis. I don't get the secondary condition, as you can see there. Secondary condition not fulfilled, but in any case, it says here, vehicle available if I complete the heavy tank 15. That's a mission, that's just a notification that's popped up, because by using those orders I have done my light, medium, tank destroyer and artillery final missions, but you still need to do 5, and that's why using these orders to complete the missions, you need to be careful about how to do it. And I personally won't be doing it until I've got enough to get the tank, because now I'm down to my heavy tanks. I've only got 3 orders left, so I can't use those 3 to do number 15. But what I can do, might say, maybe I'm struggling for this one, I could use one order to complete a single mission. And that leaves me with 2, and of course I could use this one, complete it for that mission as well. And then all I need to do to pick up the tank is to complete the final mission for the heavy tank, which is to cause, receive and block a total of 14,000 hit points of damage. That's another mission that hasn't changed. However, we'll go into the changes to individual missions very, very shortly. So that's a way you can use these orders, and you can see here I've now got 3 female crew members that are available to recruit because I just use my orders to finish off tank destroyers, mediums and lights. Doesn't say it over the left hand side of the screen. Not sure if that, I think that's because there are missions left in the middle that I haven't yet completed. I haven't actually completed them, I've just sort of skipped them using the orders. If I go back to the garage, you can see that I've got that. These are the 3 reward tanks that I've already got, and I've already put the bonus camouflage, which of course it's retrospective, so I've got it from completing them in the past. So hopefully that, with the campaign, hopefully that demonstrates what you could do with the orders. I thought you might have to finish off all these missions 1 to 14 before 15 unlocked, but it looks like it doesn't. Looks like you can use 4 orders at any time just to knock over number 15 without worrying about 1 to 14. Of course, if you want the individual rewards, it's well worth it. This one's 500,000 credits. What's this one? This one's 4,000 free experience and coded optics. And of course, all these missions give some pretty good rewards. 200,000 credits for the secondary condition and 21 premium consumables for the first condition. Now, moving on to the individual mission changes, and I'll go back to the website. Now this is the Asian server. This is the Asian server website it's got those rewards that we were talking about earlier. If we flick over here, this is from the EU website. The EU website gives a very comprehensive guide to all the changes, all the individual changes. A total of 60 missions that's out of the 4. 17 for the Stug, 16 for the T28, 13 for the T55, and 14 for the Object 260. Almost half of them, or about half of the missions that have changed, have been for light tanks. And to be frank, they've all been changed they've all been made a little bit easier. All the ones that have changed have been made a little bit easier, except for maybe 1 or 2, which I can't recall. So you can see here, it lists it for one. There will be a link to this website, and you can have a good read in your own time. The Stug, this is the first set of missions. Light tank 7, it used to be spot and cause damage to 1 artillery piece. Now all you need to do is damage 1 artillery piece. Light tank mission number 9 for the Stug. Before, it was to spot 2 enemy vehicles whilst being unspotted. Now it's spot 1. That's made a hell of a lot simpler, and the list is pretty comprehensive. We've moved down to the Object 260 because I think a lot of people that's probably the most challenging missions, if you like. Light number 3, before it used to be spot 7, now it's spot 6. Light tank 5. It used to be spot enemy vehicles and enable your allies to cause damage to 8, and now it's just 6. So they've all been sort of made a little bit easier. Spot 7 while being unspotted, now it's spot 6. Light tank 15, before for the secondary condition only you had to survive, now you only need to win. And of course enable your allies to damage 5 vehicles by spotting or tracking them. The final mission for mission 15 has gone from 4,000 down to 3,500 for tank destroyers, and the secondary has gone from survive and win to win the battle and cause damage to 8 enemy vehicles. That might be seen as being a little bit harder. 8 vehicles is over half the enemy team. Heavy tank 8 is do 4,000 damage to heavy tanks. Now it's 3, which is certainly a lot more easier. I've been knocking away at this mission myself, and I've got very close to 4,000 a lot of times. Of course, so a lot of these missions are a lot easier the higher. If you've got tier 10 tanks, they're going to be a lot easier. But if you're not lucky enough to have tier 10s, it might be a bit more challenging. Heavy tank 11, another one that I'm still on, caused 5,000 damage. Now it's 4,000 damage. I think that's the one where you need to finish with no injured crew members or damaged modules. And the list goes on. There will be a link to all these changes because there are a lot. There's 60 changes. I'm not going to go through all those 60 changes as we go back to the garage. Hopefully this guide is, maybe there's been a lot of talk on social media and in some of the forums, the official and the unofficial forums, as to how these orders are going to work. That's it in a nutshell. At any time you can use 4 orders to unlock mission number 15, even if you haven't done the first 14, or if you're confident. I'm pretty confident of getting the final heavy tank mission, because I got a mouse, and it's a mission that really is designed for the mouse, already heavily armored heavy tank. So I might just want to skip ones that I might be stuck on. I'm lucky, the two that I'm stuck on, and you can see on this map here, they've got little squares, little orders, indicating that I have committed an order to it and used it to do it. Now, but as you can see here, this is a standard mission which is already unlocked. I can click improve result, confirm, and I can try and do that mission again, and I'll get that order back if I can do that. And that's about it, I think. New missions coming soon, maybe. What do you think? Put some comments down below if you think that maybe the personal missions 2 might be coming out soon. In my opinion, I reckon it'll be out just after Christmas. Like I said earlier, it's October. By the time this patch drops and people start talking about it, it'll be the end of October. And as we all know, as soon as you hit the end of October, Christmas is just around the corner. So I reckon in the new year, personal missions 2 might be out. Maybe. Hopefully it is, because I'm pretty confident of getting an Object 260 this year with these changes. And of course, if you've been like a lot of people and you've skipped the artillery missions in the first 3 sets, unfortunately this isn't really going to be that good for you. You might have 1 or 2 up your sleeve, but if you've skipped all the artilleries, you won't have any. If you're a noob like me and you realised early that you've got a pretty low chance of getting the Object 260, so I went through all the missions whilst I was grinding on my tanks, then maybe the Object 260 isn't that far out of reach. So hopefully this guide's been okay. Any questions, feel free to put in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for all your support this year. Thank you for the subscriptions and all that kind of stuff, and keeping in contact. It's always fun, and as always, keep those replays coming. There is a lot to do, and of course I'll get through them all sooner or later. So there you go, stewiejp from Get On Board Studios, going through the changes to the personal missions in patch 9.20.1, which is just around the corner, and hopefully this will help you unlock yourself a nice shiny reward tank sometime soon. As always, thanks for watching everyone, take care, and see you all next time.